This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. And by Lee Health.
Southwest Florida, welcome to another edition of Lee Pitts Live. And I'm trying to find now you guys know it's live, right? We're here at the Children's Network of Southwest Florida, nestled on the Caloosahatchee River in downtown Fort Myers. They've been so charitable to accommodate us here with some of the finest accommodations. We have a fabulous show in store for you. We'll get a chance to talk to the incomparable, the undescribable Joe North of the North Law Firm. Also get a chance to talk to Marjorie Appleby, the author of Raising David Again. And we'll talk to the congressman, the candidate for Congress, David Holden, the Democratic candidate for District 19 for Congress. All that's happening on Lee Pitts Live. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are Southwest Florida. Welcome back to another edition of Lee Pitts Live. We're so glad to get my good friend Joe North of the North Law Firm here today. And this time you get to see Lee Pitts and Joe North at the same time. Won't get us mixed up. Joe, welcome to Lee Pitts Live, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hey, Joe, let's tell a story before we get going. Long time ago, when we used to move around in Southwest Florida in the early 90s, people used to get us mixed up.
I'm Lee Pitts. You're Joe North.
That's right. I used to take credit. Yeah, I'm an attorney. Yeah, I'm an attorney.
And I'm the big banker.
My mom, I used to always say, well, he's the good-looking one. That's what I used to say, and then get a good laugh. But Joe, I'll share this with you too, is that my mom hoped that one day I would have been an attorney and made something out of myself, man.
I think you're doing much better. But as they say, iron sharpens iron. I think we're doing pretty good.
Okay, so I got a twin brother who's taking care of that. You actually are a graduate of the Citadel.
That's right.
And then you went on to law school. Give us a little background on your education.
Yeah, well, I went to Cypress Lake High School and graduated in 1983. Mm-hmm. Came out of the Citadel with honors in 1987, and then graduated from Florida State University College of Law in 1990. And I chose Florida State because I wanted to go to a Florida school knowing that I would come back home to practice law.
That is so, you're so passionate about coming back home. Other times I've talked to you, that's very important to you that you're a local guy, came back home and doing good here.
It is. I always say there is no place like home. And it feeds into my idea of community service because I'm able to help people right here in the community, people that I know, my family knows, and they, in turn, they help me. Mm-hmm. So it's really a continuous circle of benefiting one another.
What does community service mean to you?
Just that I'm helping individuals and individuals are helping me at the same time. It's very important, whether it's financial or resources or time, that people like me or yourself or others, that we give back and help those that have helped us get to where we are. Mm-hmm. And by helping them, they're growing and they're succeeding, and then they pay it back as well.
I was talking to the superintendent of Lee County School District on my show one time, Dr. Akins, and one of the things that he said was that you were a brilliant attorney. When you hear somebody of his stature say that about you, what does that do for you?
It means a lot because he's not just a big part of this community, but he's someone that I've actually been in litigation with, where he was on the other side of the table for. Mm-hmm. So someone who has been on the other side to say that about me, I appreciate that. I really do.
And we're looking forward to, in the future, you've been seeing, people saw the autobiography of Lee Pitts, where we had the interview documentary, and you're going to do part 3 and part 4 in that documentary. So I want people to know Joe will be interviewing me in 2019 for
Looking
part
forward
2.
to it.
Right. And you got to do your research, man. Come up with some dirt. Come up with some dirt on me. I'm lucky that there's no dirt on me, by the way.
We'll see about that.
You've been practicing almost 3 decades, man. What do you hold? What holds for the future?
Well, I can tell you that I really enjoy fighting the good fight of justice, helping people every day. I cannot say that the day will not come that I'll run for office or maybe even seek a judgeship. But as of right now, I'm enjoying practicing law and helping individuals.
Yeah, because, every time somebody get close to you, they always asking you about politics.
That's right.
They see you as a statesman, Well, and you said you want to provide good community service, so that's a good way to give back later on.
That may be in the future one day.
Right, and then I think about 2 years from now, you'll be celebrating, would it be 30 years, something like that?
It will be my 30th year in practice, and we're planning on doing a big gala for the entire community to come out and share with us in that celebration.
Outstanding. Before we go a little farther, your son has done outstanding as a lawyer. Let's plug him and what he's doing now.
Oh yes, he's great. He's at Belmont Law School in Nashville, Tennessee. He's in his second year on the dean's list, making great grades, and he's just doing gangbuster work there. And he's enjoying it. He really loves it.
Faith is very important to you. Why and how you going about it? Faith.
Well, it's because I know, like I know my name, that God has anointed me and anointed my practice. I would not be able to do what I do and be as successful as I am without him. So I'm always very happy to give him the honor and the praise and the glory for what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm sure your dad would be happy to hear that, and your mom as well. You know, I have the great fortune of knowing you at the early stages, and I value that. I knew you before you were as fancy as you are now. I know you don't see yourself as fancy, I'm saying that. But when you were at Henderson, Franklin, and Stern, and then I remember when you went out solo. Tell us about that leap from working for a big law firm to going solo and having the faith and the belief that you could do that.
Well, there's nothing better than practicing law the way you want to practice law. I really enjoyed my time at the large firm, but when you're with a large organization, you have to do things according to how the organization may want to do them. You may not always be in agreement or in alignment with exactly how that wants to play out. But when you do it on your own, you can represent who you want, how you want, when you want. And to me, that independence is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, when I saw you were a solo act, just Joe North doing his thing. And now when I come up to your office, I see you got a nice spread there. You got look like about 20 people working in the office. I mean, you kind of modest about that, but you're a big operation now on both coasts.
Well, you know, it takes a large team to provide the service that we're providing. But at the end of the day, it's still Joe North. It's me, the individual. So
okay, the civil rights, very
Yes.
passionate about it.
yes, yes.
Talk about it.
I mean, with what I do every day, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, the Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, and other civil rights leaders. And their fight was different than what we have today. You know, back then they fought, over, what water fountain to drink out of. But today, there's still civil rights, and they're just as important. You know, we talk about the lady who is wanting equal pay for equal work. Or we're talking about the disabled guy who wants to go to a public restroom and have grab bars or the proper accommodations. Or the black young man who is going down the road and he gets pulled over. We want to make sure that he's treated properly. So there's still a good fight to fight in civil rights. It's just a little bit different than what we used to see in the 60s.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, two things, double pronged question. I noticed that your practice doesn't say we do civil rights type stuff. There are lawyers who do that. That's what they do, right? Like Crawford, people like that?
Right, there's some attorneys who focus in only on civil rights, but I have an umbrella of cases where I call them injury and accident cases. And there's sometimes when there's civil rights violations that fall within what we do.
That's
So
right.
we do handle civil rights cases.
Right, so indirectly it'll come into play.
That's right.
Right. The other thing that I found interesting, and I still always like to mention this to you, even though we do this from time to time. I always like people to hear this because when you were up and coming, one of the great things that happened to society was the OJ Simpson trial.
That's right.
When the OJ Simpson trial hit, you saw all these black legal minds on television giving discourse and talking about all these legal terminology, and they were impressive, CNN and so on. And after that you told me, you said, Lee, after the Johnny Cochran trial, people really got a chance to see how great these African-American attorneys are, and your business just upticked.
No doubt about it. And who we're talking about is the late Johnny Cochran.
Right. Did I mention? I didn't say Johnny Cochran. I just kept.
You
saying
may
OJ.
have, I don't know,
Okay.
but yeah, when the entire world saw Johnny Cochran and the job that he was able to do, I think it helped me and all of the other African American attorneys in terms of the public knowing that we are great attorneys.
Yeah, you guys are great, man. Do you think that the whole having to prove yourself, going back to civil rights, as being legitimate and solid and the best product as an attorney plays a role in black attorneys being even more detailed, even being higher standard in terms of their knowledge?
I think so, and it comes from really things that our parents teach us when we're growing up, and that is that we got to be on point all the way through. We got to take 2 steps for every step just to make sure that we're keeping up.
That's right.
And we're taught that early on, and it enters into our careers as professionals.
And the good thing about it is that benefits your clients.
That's
I
right.
know you got a lot of white clients, black clients, Hispanic, Haitian, all types of clients. That benefits them. If you know that Joe North is going to extra level because of what our parents taught us, when you watch me on television doing what I'm doing and you think that I might be good at what I do, is because our parents told us we got to be on point. And that means you're going to get a great attorney.
That's absolutely true.
I just sold, called Joe North. Joe, what do you do when you're not practicing law, man? How do you relax?
Well, you know, I always say I'm a simple man. I enjoy the simple pleasures in life. So when I'm not at the office, I'm enjoying family time.
Okay.
You know, my dad and I, we enjoy moments every week. My wife and I, we go to the movies, go out to eat. I enjoy my son, my daughter, and my grandkids, just family time.
And you love sports too, man.
Every now and then you'll see me at an NBA Finals game.
I saw you on TV. I sit there on the phone, watch the game, Joe. You texting, man. But that was really cool. You practice negligent security cases. What is a negligent security case?
Well, that type of case is against a property owner, like an apartment complex, nightclub, or shopping mall, where there have been a history of crime occurring on the property, but they don't have proper security guards or surveillance cameras or lighting or fencing, and then somebody gets hurt, either shot or stabbed. Well, then they come to me and we file a negligent security case because had there been proper security, maybe that injury or death could have been prevented.
That's on the uptick now too, right?
That's right. So we file those cases really for 2 reasons. 1, to get compensation for my client, but 2, so that that property would do better in the future to prevent that from happening again.
So that's a lot of people got to really reassess where they are in terms of their property and making sure proper security is there.
That's right.
Do you find that people realize that property, that shopping center or that apartment complex, that condo development, the average person, when something happens to them on that property, do they realize that they may have a case there?
Most people do not know that. Most people think, well, if I can't file a claim against the person who physically did this to me, I have no case. But that's not true. There's a case against the property owner.
I see.
And ultimately, their insurance company.
Car accident cases, workman's compensation. Let's start with workman's compensation. How is that? What kind of cases you get? I mean, when you have a workman's compensation case, give me an example of what could say, hey, I got a workman's compensation case.
We still have a large share of workers' compensation cases. It can be from someone lifting in the box and hurting a bike or a construction accident. And when there is an on-the-job injury, that person is entitled to lost wages and medical benefits. And then ultimately a settlement. And sometimes they can keep their job or maybe just change jobs.
Is car accidents self-explanatory or accidents in general self-explanatory, or you need to give a...
Well, the car accidents, like you said, most people know what it is. You know, you get involved in a car accident, it's not your fault, you're hurt, so you have a case and you're entitled to lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering.
I remember when I was in a car accident a while back, it seems like out of nowhere, all these attorneys started calling me and sending me stuff in the mail. How did they find out about all that? You guys got some inside tracks?
Well, I don't do it, but I know that some attorneys tap into the police logs and find out who's been in an accident and then send them, you know, flyers or advertisements. I pretty much get hired by word of mouth. People who know about me referring their friends and relatives to me.
That's a good way to, that says a lot about your work.
Yes, I thank you. I think so. Yeah.
Now, you cover the entire state of Florida and the United States if necessary.
That's right, because of what you told me a long time ago, briefcase will travel, and it is true. I handle most cases right here in Florida, but I do have cases outside of Florida.
I know I gave you that advice a long time ago, and I said it on the show, and you took it and you made it your motto, and you didn't give me any royalties for that, but that's okay. But you need to get a backpack, man. Nobody's carrying briefcases anymore. Can I see you in a nice little leather backpack?
Maybe.
This is Joe North. Joe, how can people get more details on you? You got a nice website too.
Yes, it is www.thenorthlawfirm.com, or just call us at 239-337-1191.
We'll be right back.